Okay, well I have 6 o'clock straight up, so let's go ahead and get this webinar started. My name is Travis Michelson. I want to welcome you to this webinar and thank you for taking the time to listen to it. I know everybody on this call is professionals, whether you're real estate agents, mortgage brokers, financial planners, business owners, or salespeople in general. I know your time is very valuable to you, so I want to keep this down to 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to work pretty quick here. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to let you know is what my goal is and is not for this webinar. Number one, my goal is not to have you purchase anything from me, nor is it to have you join me in anything, and I certainly do not want to waste my time or yours. My goal is very simple. It's to have you give me one of two answers at the end of this webinar. One of those answers may very well be that you are absolutely not in any way even remotely interested in what I'm talking about. Number two is maybe, just maybe. You see, in 15 minutes I can't possibly go in depth on an entire business model, but I can give you enough information for you to decide if it's worth your time to spend the hour and a half to really delve deep into the information. And here's the cool thing, I don't care which answer you give me, so there's absolutely no pressure here. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I don't have to tell you this, everybody knows this, the national economy sucks right now, it has for a couple of years. There's not a whole lot we can do about it, but what I actually want to talk to you about is your personal economy. And you see, our personal economy is impacted by the national economy, but it's not defined by it. And I want to prove this point. I got this next bit of information from Darren Hardy, the editor-in-chief of Success Magazine, and there was a study done for the past 110 years on the number of millionaires worldwide at various points in our history. And back in the 1900s, there was about 5,000 millionaires, and these numbers are adjusted for inflation. In 1950, that had grown to 100,000 millionaires, and that was including the World War and 12 years of the Great Depression, and we still vastly expanded the number of millionaires. In 1980, it had jumped to 1 million millionaires, and that included the Vietnam War, part of the Korean War, if my history is correct, 12 years of a recession from 74 to 82, and we still grew. By 1990, it had jumped to 2 million millionaires. By the year 2000, it had jumped to 7 million. Now, from 2000 to 2010, that's real important to us because it's what we've been living through recently. We had 9/11, the global war on terror. We had the current economic crisis from 2008, including an economic meltdown in the housing crisis. And we still managed to grow the number of millionaires worldwide. And economists who study this project that by the year 2020, we're going to have 20 million millionaires around the world. Now, what do these people have in common? Well, I'm sure they had a lot of things in common, but the one we're going to talk about today is their ability to see trends and position themselves in front of the trends. Now, like I myself started a carpet cleaning company in 2000. It grew tremendously well during the time of the hot real estate market, and then in 2008 it dropped 40%. The trends had changed on me. What I want to talk to you about is the trends that are pushing this new company that I've partnered with to be able to have exposure like this. They've had over 47 now consecutive months of sales growth. March 2011 sales were 1.5 million and change higher than February's sales, and April and May have increased as well. We won this year's Stevie Award from the American Business Awards for the Best International Convention, and currently we've expanded into over 55 foreign markets. Now, all of these are really good for a company that's just a little over 7 years old and continuing to explode. Now, what are the trends that have caused this? Well, there's two primary trends, and the first one is a massive growth in small business startups. Now, again, from Darren Hardy, he says that we're not in a great recession, we're in a great reversion. I actually think we're in both. But what he means by the great reversion is we've come to an understanding that our old way of thinking of work hard for 40 years and let the company take care of us in our retirement, or let the government take care of us in our retirement, simply doesn't work. It never was going to, and it's not something that we can count on. So people have started to go through this process of understanding they've got to take control of their own future. They have to be responsible for their own lives. So we see more and more people starting small businesses, and whether that's because that's their dream or if it's because they can't find a job, it's simply a trend that we're seeing. Now, the two of the most popular ways of starting a business is franchising or a small business startup like my carpet cleaning company. Both of these have pros and both of them have a lot of cons, but the fact is most people can't take advantage of these two options. Either it's a price issue, or it's an amount of time issue, or they don't have the expertise to do it. It's just not something most people can do. But there is a third option, and it's an industry that marries the best part of franchising and the best part of startups. It's the industry that Robert Kiyosaki, who is the author of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book series, which is one of the best-selling business book series in history, he wrote a new book recently called The Business of the 21st Century, where he talks about this industry. And some of the things he highlights is you get a proven training and success system, just like you do in franchising. And you also get a parent company that handles most of the headaches for you, similar to franchising, like product development, inventory, payroll, legal compliance, international expansion. But you get to keep a high level of autonomy. You get to continue your current career while you start building your future with your own business. You have a minimum investment, normally $250 to $1,000. Now, that's still real money, but most people, if motivated, could come up with that. It's not the 6 and 7 figures required for franchising, or startup vary greatly. My carpet business was 35 grand, but they're all over the board as far as investments for startups. But here, it's something that's affordable for most people. Low overhead and no employees. No ongoing royalties or franchise fees, and in some cases a money-back guarantee and amazing tax benefits. Now make sure you ask me about this one later, because I can actually show you how the tax benefits alone can actually pay for the cost of starting the business. And this industry is the industry of network marketing. Now I know as I say that a lot of you have a real negative concept of what network marketing is, and it's somewhat justified because there are a lot of crappy companies in the industry and there have been a lot of people hurt. But here's the truth, there's a lot of bad companies in every industry. In the financial planning industry, you got the Bernie Madoffs in the world. In the power industry, you got the Enrons of the world. And just because there's bad companies doesn't make the whole industry bad. And that's what happened to network marketing. It got defined by a few bad apples. And one of the biggest problems of network marketing is that a lot of companies have gone out there and given very unrealistic beliefs or pitches or hype about the truth about making money in network marketing. So I want to set the record straight. Network marketing is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a work program. You've got to work to make money at it. And if you took a person who became incredibly successful in network marketing but started out with no business background, this is the average of what it took them to do that. It takes them about a year to become functionable and profitable, making somewhere between $500 to $1,000 a month within their first year. And for some of you that may not seem like very much, but did you know that 80% of bankruptcies could be avoided if the person just had an extra $500 a month in their budget? It actually does impact a lot of people in the very positive way. Now the reason it takes that long is because this first year they're actually working on themselves. They're doing a lot of personal development. They're learning the skill sets, the disciplines that it takes to become self-employed and to become a top income earner. But after 3 years of consistent part-time effort, which is about 10 hours a week on average, they can start making a full-time income, several $1,000s a month, enough to replace their job if they want to leave. After 5 years of that, they can become a high income earner, somewhere in the 6-figure mark. And on average, it takes fully 7 years to be financially free with a 6 to 7 figure residual income. Now, 7 years may sound like a long time, but how long have you been doing what you're doing? And will you be financially free in 7 years if you continue to do what you've been doing? But here's the one thing, and I don't want to hype you, but one of the reasons I like working with professionals like those listening to this presentation is because they've already laid the groundwork. They've already learned the skill sets and the disciplines and everything that it takes to be self-employed and work on a commission basis. So I really believe if you guys apply yourself, and if this is something that you want to do, you can really shortcut these numbers and do it much quicker because you already bring to the table the skills that you need. But even if it took 7 years to become financially free, so what? It's still a great place to be. So let's go on to trend number two, the awareness of healthcare. You'd have to be living under a rock to not have been aware of this massive healthcare debate that's been going on in our country for the last several years. And even though it's been overshadowed by the debt debate right now, the debate on healthcare is going to come back, and what that does is it puts in the forefront of everybody's imagination this concept of healthcare. And whether you're for national healthcare or against it, it doesn't matter. What we can all agree on is it's better to just not get sick. It's better to take youth, energy, and vitality into your old age and delay the onset of degenerative diseases for as long as possible. So we see a major trend towards people being involved with preventative care, with wellness planning, and Vemma, the company that I have partnered with, fills one very important segment in this overall concept of wellness, and that's the segment of super nutrients. Now, Vemma is the company, but it's also an acronym for our product. The V stands for vitamins, 12 essential vitamins. The EM stands for essential minerals, 65 trace and ultra trace. The next M is for mangosteen, which is the single highest source of xanthone or antioxidants ever discovered. The A is for aloe vera, and it's also got green tea. Now, I could go on and on about how great this product is, but there's no reason for you to believe me. So what the company did is they went out and they commissioned 2 independent full studies on our entire formulation and what this product does in the blood when it hits the blood of individuals. And the results were so astounding, they were actually published in 2 peer-reviewed journals. One is the Journal of Medicinal Food, and the other is the Journal of Agriculture and Food Chemistry. I don't have time to go into the findings right now, but these findings are available on my website. You can print them out, you can read everything that was found, and it's great information. So let's talk about what the company did from a marketing standpoint. They had a great formula that was proven. But what they did is they put that formula into 4 different delivery systems so they could impact a massive amount of the market. They started with just Vemma. Now, this is just a 2-ounce shot that you drink once a day. Men's Journal did a study on all the super juices, and they gave Vemma the best overall super juice on the market. Vemma was also talked about in Esquire magazine, and they asked Dr. Oz from the Dr. Oz show, but this was before he had the show, what is the best multivitamin for a man under 60? And part of his answer was liquid Vemma. We're also the official nutritional supplement of the Charlotte Bobcats, which is of course owned by Michael Jordan. The next thing we did is we took that same 2 ounces and we put it into a can, and we filled it up with water, taurine, and guarana for an energy source, and made the first truly healthy energy drink based on a nutritional formula. This product was so good that Miss Fitness took a look at it and gave us their Product of the Year award. We've also become the official drink of the Phoenix Suns, and we're in motorsports and PGA. I mean, Verve has really caught on as a brand, and because of that, it's now, depending on the month, the 4th or 5th best-selling energy drink on the market, even though you won't find it in a store. Next, we came up with our hydration drink. We took the entire Vemma formula and we added to it 4 electrolytes, amino acids, carbohydrates to make it the perfect post-workout recovery drink to give your body everything it needs to recover. This is my personal favorite product of ours. And we also wanted to impact our kids. Obviously, health is at all-time high levels of concern for our kids. It's almost at epidemic levels in a lot of cases, and Vemma Next fills that void. We took half of a dose of regular Vemma, and then we added DHA, quercetin, phytonutrients that are specific towards the needs of kids age 2 to 12. And one of the really cool things they did here is they've made this a very large philanthropic type of product, because for every single bottle you buy of Vemma Next, the company donates a bottle to a child in need in the same market as the purchased product. And we've partnered with the Children's Miracle Network on top of that to really reach out and do something good in the community. So these are our fantastic products that are really having an impact in the marketplace. Now listen, that's about all I can tell you in this short 15 minutes. So what's the next step? Well, if you're part of the You're Absolutely Not Interested group, when myself or the partner calls you back, just tell them that. We'll say thank you very much and we'll let you go. We're not going to try to force you into anything. But if you're part of the maybe just maybe group, what we want to do is get you in-depth information about our training program, our compensation plan, our company and management team history. I want to introduce you to some of our top trainers and money earners so you can pick their brain and kind of get an understanding, and of course a chance to sample a couple of our products. Now, if you happen to be in the Arizona market, we'd like to invite you down to tour our corporate headquarters, but if not, no big deal. Like I said, we're in 55 foreign countries, so we have technologies that can get you all of this information no matter where you are. And only after we do all of this and you get all of your questions answered are we going to ask you to make a decision about whether or not partnering with us would be beneficial for you. So again, there's no pressure. One of my team members or myself will be calling you back soon. Just let us know if you're part of Group 1 or Group 2, and thank you for your time.